Have you ever found yourself saying things to family, friends, coworkers like, you should dress this way for whatever reason? If you want to get better, you should read this. Your family won't respect you if you do whatever. Your house would look so much nicer with. If you're saying that to people, then you're giving unsolicited advice. Welcome to Be a Better Person, and today's topic is unsolicited advice. Funny and ironic how this topic is unsolicited advice, and that's what this whole channel is about, is giving you unsolicited advice about how to be a better person. So just remember that the things that I talk about on here are things that I'm doing to try and make myself a better person, and kind of explaining how I feel that by doing these things you make yourself a better person. Every situation is different. Your situation is different from mine. And don't think that all the things that I talk about here, that I am just completely good at all these things. Almost every one of them I have to catch myself and I work on every single day to try and get better. This is a topic, of course, that is the same way. Because again, just the way that you're raised, you always you think you're helping people get better by saying these things, but maybe a lot of times you're making them feel insecure or not good about themselves. So always just kind of stop and pause when you're thinking about giving unsolicited advice. Stop, pause, think, hey, is this necessary? How is this going to make the person feel? It's fine to give your opinion when somebody asks for it, even though, keep in mind, most people, when they ask for advice, they want to hear coming out of your mouth what they've already decided they're probably going to do. So let's always just remember that advice, even in general, not even the unsolicited kind that you give to people, they'll ignore it if it's not their words coming out of your mouth. But so let's even think worse about giving unsolicited when they're not going to probably even listen to solicited advice. In the same vein, if you ask for advice, you should keep an open mind, because you never ever know the kind of input, or maybe somebody's going to come from a perspective. If you don't just slough it off, if you actually listen, take into what they're trying to say, you could possibly learn something that may help you in your situation. Don't always think that your idea or what you thought the way you should handle something is the right way. The whole point of asking for advice is to get a different perspective, or to maybe reinforce your idea, which is sometimes a good thing as well, and especially if you're asking for advice from several people. But again, unsolicited advice is nobody asked for it. You're just spitting something out, and in most times when you stop and think about it, it's saying something crucial about that person's character or how they're handling a situation or lack of handling a situation. And so you always have to put yourself in that mindset that, hey, when I give this unsolicited advice, if I'm going to say something about the clothes they wear or the tattoo they got or the piercing that they have, maybe I should stop and think about why they're doing that. Maybe they're doing that is that's their way to express their creativity, to express their uniqueness. So when you start saying things about that, it's like a slam on who they are. So, that's not always necessarily the same thing. Whether it's their face or whether it's their house, the shrubs that you got, oh, they're too close, you're going to end up with lots of bugs there. Maybe they've already sprayed for bugs. So why even have to give that advice and give your 2 cents when you weren't asked? I think that a lot of times unsolicited advice can lead to really bad relationships. I have a friend who's going to remain unnamed, who with another person that they're close to has had a terrible relationship because they continuously give unsolicited advice, and it makes the person my friend that they're giving the advice to feel less of a person, feel like they can't do anything right, feel like they're not good enough. And so it hurt the relationship because now she doesn't even want to be around that person, because every time she's around that person, all they can do is give unsolicited advice about what she's doing wrong or how she could do something better or the way things look. So again, really stop and think about how this can affect relationships. And if you want a good relationship, maybe you should start thinking more about how you can build people up. Instead of giving your unsolicited advice, start saying things about how nice the new tattoo looks. Oh, I love what you've done with those bushes on the front of your house. Man, that's a great idea of how you decided to handle this situation with your children. So again, unsolicited advice is never a good thing. I can't think of one way that unsolicited advice is positive. If you can think of one, please let me know, because I have not been able to. Now, again, that's different than building people up, like I said, with all the things that you can talk about that helps a person feel better about themselves. And how do you feel when people give you unsolicited advice? So maybe stop for the next bit and think about how many times you're giving unsolicited advice. Catch yourself when you're doing it. Maybe stop yourself and maybe see how often that you are. And again, I think that it's something about societal programming that teaches us that we're supposed to always just give advice, even though nobody's asked for it. That even though we think that we're trying to help by giving this unsolicited advice, that we're really not helping at all. And we're really tearing down and making the other person maybe not feel that good about themselves or their decisions. So again, stop and think about, hey, how many times if I'm doing this a day? And then on the counterpart of it, really pay attention to when other people talking to you give you unsolicited advice, and then stop and think about how that makes you feel, depending on what the advice is. I mean, some of it's probably less petty than other things. When people start telling you how you should raise your kids, when people start telling you how you should handle family relationships, those things can be even worse unsolicited advice than simple things like the shrubs in front of your house. So like I said, try to turn things around and always build up. Catch yourself when you're going to say something, some unsolicited advice that maybe is going to tear down the other person, and instead try to find a way to flip it and build them up. The big thing is, like I said, when you build people up, they want to be around you more. They enjoy spending time with you than if you're continuously giving them unsolicited advice. Ask my friend who's now doesn't really have as great of a relationship, still goes to family functions with them, but there was little things that they did, like go get coffee together, go to the movies, go hang out, and now she just does not want to do that because of the unsolicited advice that she's given all the time. And the person who's given the unsolicited advice, I think that they truly thought that they're being helpful, but didn't see that the issues or the problems that it's causing, not only in the relationship, but making her feel less of a person, or like she can never do anything right. So, let's just really think about how you can break the pattern, how you can maybe stop doing that unsolicited advice. And I know I've said unsolicited advice a lot because I'm trying to really make a point. Don't tell people what you think or how they should do things unless they ask. So yeah, just pay attention and kind of maybe see how many times you do this in a day, or how many times people do it to you. You could keep some little tally marks and keep a little journal, and write down those kind of things. So yeah, let me know in the comments if anybody watches this and anybody agrees with this, how many times a day. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to specifically try to stop myself and see if there's many times I offer unsolicited advice, and I'm going to pay attention to how other people, if they offer that unsolicited advice to me as well. And maybe at some future episode, I'll kind of give you an idea of how that worked for me. So let me just say, your smile makes you... Your smile makes me smile. Be kind, be grateful, and be helpful. Thanks for joining, and have a great rest of your day.